So let's look at a couple examples of poor leadership fitness. Years ago, a good friend of mine was soon to graduate from art college. And although she was in her 30s, this was the first time she was entering the professional workforce. Quite naturally, she was nervous about interviewing, the hiring process. So she shares this with her husband, Jack, who happens to be the IT hiring manager for his company. Guess what Jack says? I never hire anybody with more credentials than me. That still gets me, even to this day. Now we can imagine the horror that she experienced, this being her first time out, and this is what her husband, an interviewer, says. So let me ask you, in the context of today, are you healthy enough to lead? What do you think about Jack? Was he healthy enough to lead? Do you think Jack was fulfilling his company's mission of hiring the best talent for the money?
No.
Do you think Jack's leadership would approve of what he was doing? I think not. I hope not. So now let me hear you. What are some words that might describe Jack? Just from that little sentence that I told you about Jack. Yes. Threatened. Insecure. Selfish. Anything else?
He's unsupportive.
Unsupportive.
What to do.
Unsupportive.
Unmotivated.
Unmotivated. Barry? That's the word. Barry said insecure. And when I thought about this, and I also knew Jack, the word that jumped out at me was insecure. Jack was incredibly insecure. And now listen how I say the next sentence. The fallout of the events creating the atmosphere for Jack to take on insecurity got dragged into the workplace every day. I'll say that again because it's a mouthful. The fallout of the events creating the atmosphere for Jack to take on insecurity got dragged into the workplace every day. Notice what I didn't say. And here comes one of those personal responsibility things. Notice I didn't say whatever made Jack insecure. Nothing and no one can make you say or do anything. Everything comes down to choices. We're one step closer to living powerful lives when we truly get that we're always in control. We're always in control of our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions. The ball is always in our court. Now granted, sometimes it seems like the court is in somebody else's stadium, but that doesn't change the fact that we're always in control. So now looking back at Jack, just as Jack was bringing insecurity to work every day, what are you bringing into the workplace every day that's undermining your performance, your professionalism, or you're being a team player? Remember, this is not a surface level presentation today. Dig deep. What internal conversation or belief do you have about yourself that's adversely affecting those who report to you? And it might be difficult, but think about it this way. Jack, I'm sure, did not wake up every morning and say, I'm insecure, so I'm going to act insecure at work today. He didn't do that. He had become insecurity. It was now just a part of how he did business. I'm sure where he felt threatened the most was during an interview, right? Because he already knew, I'm not hiring anybody who's got more credentials than me. Okay? But it's not something that he thought about on a conscious level. What about you is like Jack? Where is Jack showing up in your leadership, in your being a coworker, in your being a peer? But like Jack, what do you know about yourself? When do you feel threatened?